Hi everyone, welcome to Beauty in the Garden Tarot. I hope everyone's doing good this evening and hope you all had a good day. It's probably around 6:30. You might hear a little noise in the background because my son has a friend over and I think my daughter's downstairs, so just kind of ignore them. Ignore them, I do. No, honestly, I really don't. But anyways, so again, I hope everyone is doing well. I believe it's, let's see, is it 18th today maybe? I don't know, I'm losing track of time. I'm losing my mind given that the winter solstice is coming here pretty quick, and we'll likely see a bunch of changes happenings thereafter. Excited to see what comes about. So let's go ahead and open up with the singing bowl. A really nice vibration this evening. So, okay. Let's see. So hopefully in the last couple of days, y'all have been doing all right. I know that I've been really tired, really worn, and I've just been experiencing a lot of waves of different emotions. So just been working to process what is coming in, balance, and transmute, and then release back to the universe. So hopefully if you're experiencing that, that is in fact what you're working on doing versus holding on to it. Holding on to it's going to create a lot of excess anxiety and confusion because, again, if you are a light worker or empath or twin flame or starseed, or someone that has a passion for healing and creating in the world, you're likely absorbing the energy of what is around you, amongst you. So making sure that you are working on finding time to, even if it's for 2 minutes, to kind of center yourself and focus on something that provides you comfort, safety, good positive feelings, joy, love, relaxation. Of course, if you can do it longer than 2 minutes, the better, but even 2 minutes can make a big deal, particularly right now where you will likely want to do it multiple times during the day, just to help kind of guide yourself back in. So, all right, tonight we are going to use the Oracle of Seven Energies from Colette Baron Reed. You can see that. She has a beautiful set of cards. We're gonna pull 4 cards. Spirit has guided me to pull 4 cards. One for what are you thinking? How are you feeling? What is the blockage? And what is the wish? What is the goal? What is the desire? What is the outcome? So let me shuffle a couple times here, and then we'll go ahead and get going with the cards. I'm gonna really work really hard to keep this reading to less than 30 minutes. Not only is it good because I know after, what is it, I had a meeting a couple nights ago. And they were just talking about your audience, and people have a tendency to lose focus, concentration after about 25 minutes. So the fact that I'm going about a half an hour longer than that, you guys are probably thinking, I got things to do, Jessica. All right, so I'm gonna keep it hopefully shorter, and that's why I'm just going to pull in this alignment. All right. Guess they want me to take that one, that one, that one, and that one. Okay. So, for the first card, we have number 13, and 13 to me is the number of transformation. In the tarot, it is death, the death card, Scorpio, as well as just, you know, transforming, reinventing yourself. So it makes sense that we would be thinking about, you know, how to reinvent or how to expand, or thinking about ways of transforming, releasing, mutating. Mutation, I don't know if that's the right word. They're telling me it's not the right word, and that people are really like, mutation? I'm not a lizard. But just this idea that people are really in, and even just given that it's the end of the year, people start thinking about, you know, New Year's resolutions, start thinking about, you know, change. Even the fact that in here, at least in Minnesota, the vaccine for the virus just was released to healthcare providers, so soon it will be available for the general public. So then that means, you know, things are opening back up. So there's a lot of change that hopefully is around the corner. So of course people are thinking about that, and the card is really quite beautiful. It's a lovely woman holding onto what looks like the earth. And she's just kind of looking into it with wonder. And her lips are shiny. And to me, the beauty of the gold on her lips is that she has a lot to offer the world. She has a lot to say. She has a lot to share. She's thinking about how to express herself to the environment, and how she may have a part in how she may change the world, how she could give back and how she could give to. The world is quite beautiful. It looks like a ship almost inside of a crystal ball. And so Spirit is guiding me to think that this is sailing to a new world. This is about redefining, recreating who we are and the lifestyle we live, and how we can extend that to the community and to our environment. And the diamondness, the sparkliness within it is about making it, you know, new, making it worthwhile, making it of value. You know, where it's nice to think about donating maybe old goods or used goods, or recycling, because we have free recycling here, that all you just basically has to do is collect it. I mean, those are valued behaviors, but maybe thinking as the new year's coming in, maybe some things that are a little bigger in scope, and how you could possibly make some changes to whether it's your lifestyle, your home living, relationships, what you can do maybe on a Spirit is guiding me to talk more about maybe on a bigger scale, and like how you can do something for your community. So possibly thinking about setting some resolutions for not only yourself and personal change, but extending that change for how you can personally touch your community, and you know, how might you be able to, you know, volunteer or do something that is helpful or giving back to it. I mean, there's an awful lot of different things that we can do in our community that could be of help, whether that's donating our time to organizations that help people that are in need, more humanitarian type approach. And that's really what 2021 is really going to highlight a lot of, is more of how we can have more of a humanitarian approach to life in general. And of course that needs to start from on the inside, and how thought is the power for the fuel for change. So, you know, what are the things that you're thinking about? And again, looking at, you know, what is the conversation? What's the internal conversation that you're having with yourself? Is it of something that is promoting you to make these changes? Is it something that maybe is making it more difficult for you to consider that it's possible? So again, Spirit is encouraging you to pay attention to what your internal conversation is. And are you empowering yourself, or are you disempowering yourself? And even if your circumstances currently are not ideal, I know my circumstances are currently not ideal for me, but still being able to find value and find joy and find gratitude in what you do have. I mean, the truth is that, you know, even though things aren't ideal for me, my needs are taken care of. You know, Spirit has made sure that I have my bases covered, so I don't have to worry about those things. And that's not to say that some of y'all don't maybe you do have some basic needs that aren't covered. And so you do have to worry about those things, and it's important that to create that, to manifest that, to welcome that in, that you paint yourself, you present yourself in a way that will welcome that in. I'm trying to think about. Spirit is just saying that, you know, our thinking is a huge obstacle when it comes to welcoming in the gifts. We play a very active role in what comes into our lives, more role than we could ever even imagine. But in the next few years, we'll come to find out that, you know, again, we are the creators of our experience. We're not looking at, you know, why this is happening or what's happening to us, so much as, you know, this is something that I didn't prepare for. This is something that I planned for. These are experiences that my soul planned for. So opening yourself up to those possibilities and welcoming that energy in. Even in a time that may be difficult, the more welcoming you can be, the more opportunity you will have. And then that then allows you to extend that outward. And remember, the universe loves generosity. So if you are being generous, even when you feel like you're limited, but you're still being generous to other people, and that doesn't just mean financially, you know, it can mean a lot of different ways, but you're being generous even with your thought to other people, the universe will reward you. So just a reminder for you to keep that in focus. The next oracle is the oracle that we picked for feeling, what you're experiencing as far as you're feeling, and it's the number 20, which is this year. And you know, what is it? I mean, here's the other thing, is that Spirit is suggesting that I present to you, when we look at the numbers on these cards, what do certain numbers mean to you? I guess the way that I started out with numerology is you know, for each year of my life, I looked at what was maybe going on in that year, or birthdays, or you you know, just different time frames. That's the way that I came about understanding my own personal connection to the numbers. But then, you know, there's a million sites that will give you meanings of different numbers. Tarot cards give you meanings of numbers. Just even regular card games. I mean, I don't play it, but you know, if you play poker or anything like that, rummy, you're gonna come up with what certain sets of numbers mean. So again, the feeling that Spirit wants to kind of bring attention to or bring highlight to is the number 20, and it's called a merry motive. So I've never gotten this card before. So let's see what it says. But it's a really beautiful card. It looks like little stars are like being hung out to dry. And you think about 20 is the year of judgment. So even though when I think about being judged, I often think of it as a very negative experience. And believe me, I've been judged enough to know it's not fun. But I also think about the light and the beauty that has arisen out of the phoenix that has rose from this time of judgment, this time of introspection. So the little stars being hung out to dry, I think it's a beautiful depiction of changing the way we think. Going back to the first card, the Spirit was guiding us to pay attention to how we're framing things, but don't put it in a way that doesn't make any sense to you. I mean, again, if you're going to go out and you're going to assist people and help people in making these changes interpersonally for themselves, I mean, you want to be able to demonstrate it yourself. So the things that you're teaching or you're saying or you're sharing, you want to be able to make sure that works for you. And that's something that meant something to you. I mean, I think that with all the different therapy modalities that I've shared with other people that I've had the privilege of being able to present to people in need, I didn't present, or I didn't practice the ones that I felt, you know, weren't very useful. But that's not to say that, you know, I just only took, because everyone's toolbox looks a little bit different. But I made sure that what was in the toolbox was, you know, a hammer, a screwdriver, you know, a bunch of different things that, you know, that for sure work. And then, so yeah, anyways, I don't want to get off track here. But our feelings. So maybe a lot of people are experiencing some heavy emotion on the year's coming to a close, and you're reflecting on what's transpired, what's happened, the changes that you made, the changes that maybe you didn't make, the worries about the upcoming year, the worries about your sanity. I mean, there's so many emotional attachments to, you know, what's transpired in the world, but also what's transpired with us spiritually as well. And I know that there are times that sometimes it's hard to hold on to your sanity, particularly if you're someone that struggles with addictions. And there's all sorts of different kinds of addictions. And, you know, I'm sober, I'm an alcoholic, but I know that given my struggle with alcoholism, it was quite the feat. And emotionally, I took a beating to that. And so I know that there is, I mean, this is a time that a lot of people, maybe they had been sober, maybe they weren't practicing, you know, maybe their addiction is gambling. But so maybe they weren't practicing the behavior that caused them problems, but during this lockdown, I know the statistics show that a lot of people started drinking again. I'm assuming gambling, online stuff, sex addiction. I mean, it's just so much stuff. So, I mean, I'm sure that many people are struggling with the idea of falling off. And, you know, it's not about, you know, how many times you fall off. It's about how many times you get back on, you get back up. You just get back up and you try again, start again. So again, if that's what you're experiencing emotionally, giving yourself a bit more flexibility with how you experience that emotion. That's not to say that you can just instantaneously block out grief about it, but how can you turn that grief into something that is more productive? And sometimes turning the grief into something more productive means taking a day off, taking a mental health day, and just sleeping, watching movies, just forgetting about what's going on. But understand the next day comes and you might have to go back to work, or you know what, the bills and the things that are sitting there are still sitting there. So talking with someone, there's so much online stuff now that if you don't have someone that's of support in the person, or given the virus, you can't really go in person. There's so many things that you can do online. But again, understanding that even if you feel like you're hung out to dry, here's the picture. There's oh, it's giving me burps, but I know burps can sound stupid, but it's releasing fear. So hanging out to dry is releasing your fears, and that, yeah, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. What are you going to do about it? It's going to be not okay if you do nothing about it. And the only person that puts the value of whether it's okay or it's not okay is you. And so it's you deciding, you determining what is okay for you and what is not. And the things that are okay for you, how can you experience more of those? And the things that are not okay for you, what can you do to help you delete that or improve in that area or release that? All right, so blockages is the number 19. Oh no. And the number 19, well, you know what? I'm going to take this as, you know, both a positive and a negative thing. So the card came out, or did we actually read number 20? No, I don't think we did we? I'm sorry. Let me quick go back and read that, because Spirit is telling me you forgot to read it. Go back, Jessica. All right. The Merry Motive, key concepts, knowing your own motives, understanding what drives you to meet your goals, the momentum your attention creates, the wisdom behind your intention. So, again, how do you think? How do you think about what it is you're experiencing? And what you feel is what is real. So if you're feeling, understand, you know, this whole idea of cognitive behavioral therapy is really just about being able to use all of our strengths as a human being, emotionally, psychologically, physically, spiritually, and being able to connect and interconnect all of those things. So, you know, this idea about what is the wisdom that lies behind this feeling? What can you tell yourself that in the past has worked to help you either push through it, move through it, or embrace it, depending upon what the emotion is that you're experiencing. So the blockage, what's getting in the way, what's preventing you from maybe being able to do this, was the number 19, and it was in reverse. So a 19 in tarot is, you know, the sun when it comes to the major arcana. So this idea of joy and sunshine and glory, you know, the card's turned upside down, which means you're not experiencing that right now, given the fact that you're going through some challenging times emotionally and psychologically, your thought process. But on the card is a lion. It's a lion. And the Spirit has kind of directed me to look at how there's an X within the face of the lion. And my son is coming up, so it's kind of like breaking my thought here. But so there's a couple things actually. There's some geometry as well in this card, and it's two triangles that are in the process of merging. But to me, the two triangles are reversed. So when I think about the balance of the triangle, I think of it more in like an infinity symbol, or the sands of time. And these are butt to butt. So it seems like we're kind of butting up against something. We're not allowing things to free flow through us. And so when you go back to this idea that our feelings and our thoughts maybe that we're experiencing are upsetting, sometimes it's important to just let them flow. Or if you're helping other people in the process of what they're doing that's maybe destructive or damaging to them, helping them understand that sometimes you just got to let it flow. You got to go through the motions, follow it through, and allow it, just like understand that it's like a wave. It's like the tide. As it comes in, it will move back out. And it'll give you a moment of breathing, so then you can kind of recoup and plan your next state of action. But underneath that imbalance is a lion. There's something fierce. There's a pride. There's an ability. There's a natural instinct, to reign, to rise above, and to not forget that even if you are experiencing a major fall, that there is a process of return, and that return can be quite empowering. And just remembering that. Just sometimes, sometimes it's about treading water too. It's keeping your chin above and just treading until that tide does go out. And that doesn't make you a wimp, and that doesn't make you, not trying or not pushing forward. It means that sometimes that's all you can do. And respecting that about yourself, that we can't always be the hands-on warrior. Otherwise we wouldn't have, the warrior's got to sleep sometime too, so it's okay to be in a situation that you just needed to tread the water for a little bit, but know that there is this lion, there's this beast underneath there. So don't let that be a blockage. Don't forget that. Don't forget that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Nothing is ever permanently closed. I mean, you can break through concrete. You can break through anything that man has made. It's just about how much time it may take, and the tools that you may need. So making sure that you got some tools in that toolbox again. But really nothing is permanent. Nothing. I mean, even when you think about our death, it's not permanent either. It's just in the way that you look at it and how you feel about it. So if you're experiencing some blockages in your passion, you kind of just feel like that there's a wall, there's something that's preventing you from moving forward. And I know that I've experienced that, is that I feel like, there's this I'm just waiting for this curtain to open. But Spirit has really strongly encouraged me that you don't sit and wait around. You know what? Maybe you might not be exactly in the place that you'd like to be, but you keep pushing forward. You keep moving it forward. Keep moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving is what they're saying. So the waking the lion says boldness, the courage to move forward even without knowing the way. Facing that which is difficult and painful. The audacity to step into the unknown. And that is clearly what Spirit has been giving me the message to do, as well as to share with other people. You know what? Don't worry about all the details and what the outcome is going to look like. Because honestly, you know what? That can change at any given moment. You can have a passion. You can have a desire. You can have a goal. You can have a plan. But don't wait for it all to fall into line. It's kind of like that old saying where it's like people that got married and couples that were talking about having children. We got to get everything together. Well, guess what? If you always had to get everything together, you ain't never going to have a baby. Because you know what? There's never going to be a time that everything is going to be perfect, or it's going to be a rarity that everything is going to feel like it's all in line. So having the courage to find the strength to move forward, even in times of uncertainty. And honestly, there's a lot of uncertainty with where the world is at, and talk about what's happening and what's about to happen, but just boldly moving forward, trusting your intuition. That's what they're sharing with me right now, is like trusting what it is that you feel, and not second guessing yourself. And when those little thoughts from the ego pop in, that conversation in the background, that's, like, hey, you suck, you don't know what you're talking about. Just keep pushing forward. Don't be afraid of that voice. And it's not about snuffing it out, because you can't snuff that voice out. It's just about accepting that, there's the hearsayer. You always got a hearsayer in the stands. Always, 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 always. So just anticipate that, expect that. Expect you're going to have a little voice or a few little voices telling you, no, don't do that, or that's not going to work. You're never going to make it. You're not good enough. You can't. How are you going to help somebody else? You can't even help yourself. So just finding that line, finding that passion, and moving forward with it. Okay. So card number 4 that Spirit had us pick is the wish, the goal. And it's number 7. 7 is a very lucky, heavenly, universal number. It's a very spiritual number, and what we talked about a couple card pullings, a couple tarot sessions ago, or oracle sessions ago, and that basically, really within any spiritual practice, the number 7 is a very sacred number. So in the card, it says a deep breath. And then it has, initially when I first look at it, I see like a Buddha type face in the distance, but it really kind of has also a Kwanzaa look to it, as well as a crown that almost looks like heaven. So there's kind of more of like an eclectic, an eclectic togetherness of different spiritual practices. And in truth, that's what Spirit has really helped me understand, that's really what the New Age is about bringing forth, is not just one view of what the universe or what the afterlife or what the energy or what source is about. It's really an eclectic presentation of all the above. So the wish is to be able to take a deep breath. Isn't that the wish for this upcoming year, is to be able to feel like, okay, you know what, things are on track. I'm doing my passion. I'm able to do the things that I need to do and feel comfortable doing that. I'm able to have some abundance. And abundance isn't being greedy. I mean, everyone would like to be able to live comfortably. And we really have, our humanity has taught us that that's not something that we deserve. That's something that we are either get lucky or we have to work and that's not to say we don't have to work hard for it, but that's our birthright. Abundance is birthright. Don't ever forget that. Grace and wisdom and beauty and love, those are all of our birthrights. It's this that prevents us from obtaining that. It's this. And part of hopefully what 2020 has guided you more towards, and maybe you've been spiritually awakening for even longer than that. A lot of people have, but you're coming more to what your heart is telling you and where your passion lies. And within there, if you listen to that voice, you recognize that you have all the gifts. You possess all the beauty within you. It's just about finding a platform to be able to share that. And that's hopefully what 2021 is about for you, is how you can give on a more humanitarian level that beauty that's within you, because we all have special gifts and talents that we can share. It's unfortunate that things block us from that, and again, that blockage is really honestly coming from ourselves and our situation. That's not to say that our environment doesn't impact that, but a large percentage of where we're at in life is due to how we feel and how we think about who we are and what our potential is. So the wish is to take a deep breath, and Spirit is saying, you know what, right now, today on the 9th, I think it's the 19th of December, take a deep breath. Reward yourself for being here and for doing and being who you are. And just the fact that you're even interested in thinking about any of these things and having these thoughts and these questions about yourself. And if you were someone that was undeserving of it, frankly, you wouldn't even be thinking about that. That's one of the things that, you know, my people that I've counseled in the past is like, you know, they'd be like, well, you know, I'm worried that, you know, I'm a narcissistic or that I'm a sociopath and blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, you know what? The fact that you're worrying about that, the fact that you're questioning that is telling me that no, you're not one. So don't worry about it. Because sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissistics don't see themselves as that. All right? And that's not to say anybody out there is a narcissistic or a sociopath. And you know, truthfully, you know what? They're some of the most successful people financially are psychopaths. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So your wish. Take a deep breath. It's already 36 minutes and 21 seconds, so I said I would just try to stop. Spirit is saying, shut your mouth, Jessica. Let these people go take a breath. Do something that is relaxing. That's a reminder to how beautiful you are, and how much of a gift to the world that you are before you go to bed tonight. All right? I hope you all have a great night, and I will talk with you all soon. Thanks. Bye.